Broken Myth a little bit later on, whereas if you have low ratios but just high flat damage, then the Shattered Glass isn't as important. But we are going to be once again seeing the pedal banned by Calamity Reborn, really not wanting to go up against this hero, and it's curious to me as to why, because you're really only banning out the weapon path on, because the crystal pedal path has been severely nerfed due to the Frostburn changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Crow going to be taken off the board as well, and Calamity, they're going to go straight for that Lance for the second time now, and we'll see what Fnatic will respond with.
I am liking the last picks more than the first pick so far. It's a great takeaway from Fnatic, but I don't like the fact that they went for Hyper Carry as a composition last game. It doesn't, the Hyper Carry, Protect the Carry compositions work well, but it's only for certain teams. It's not for every team. And Calamity Reborn, in my opinion, have strengths elsewhere. Aeon being able to play aggressive on the glaives, on the cruels, on the battles, being able to play aggressive, get into the enemy jungle, or make plays. I don't like him on a passive hero where he's protecting Apfel. I hope they go for something different this time.
Well, we are going to see an Arden locked on in here for Fnatic, so very unlikely that they're going to go with any Churnwalkers this game. There's still potential on Calamity, though.
Yeah, and I don't think Churnwalker's going to necessarily come out now with the style these two teams are playing, but Arden is a pick I think we're going to start seeing a lot of. The changes to health and defensive items, and Arden himself getting a buff, are massive buffs to Arden. All you have to do is just stack nothing but health on him. You don't even need the defensive items that we normally see of like the Alice Pauldrons or the the Aegis that we sometimes captains end up picking up. You don't need those on Arden. You just build flat health and you become almost invincible, because it is just so difficult to take him down between his perk and just having more health overall.
Scarf going to be banned away here by Fnatic. Interesting one to take away, considering it wasn't played in that last game. Perhaps looking to pick up a Celeste for themselves, trying to take away those premium CP carries away from Apfel after that Lance was locked in.
The Black Pit comes through as a ban. I think that's very smart, because Fnatic could have picked it up there. The Scarf ban is a little bit of an interesting ban for me, because I was going to say they're trying to take away something that counters Rhyme. Since they already banned the Cruel, Rhyme is open for Fnatic to be able to dominate the jungle matchup. And Scarf generally is a good hero to play against the Rhyme. On top of it, they already banned Black for the 2. That's another pick that you usually want to pick against the Rhyme to try and counter him in the jungle a little bit. Both of them are gone. They go for the Rhyme. It's a great pickup for Fnatic. And the Arden, like you mentioned, Tasty Bacon, is extremely strong this update. With all the health changes, with all the buffs to him too, he can shine in this update.
He certainly can, and we've seen he was banned in the last one, but Fnatic are going to grab him for themselves. I was surprised it got so far through the draft, honestly, but Adagio will be locked in for Calamity. This is not a pick I was expecting to see, especially in Europe. It's such a rare pick. Then Calamity locked that in.
Yeah, the Adagio is definitely a little bit of a surprise. It's something that can, again, be flexed. So Calamity going for a very flexible composition here of the Adagio and Lance. They can both go into multiple different roles, leaving this last pick available. It's really going to give this composition identity. It would expect to see some other type of carry. Maybe they just go for something else that can be flexible, though, and just leave a lot of question marks on the side of Fnatic.
The Adagio did get a buff in 2.9, so that's most likely why they looking at it. It's a little bit stronger, especially in the lane. They're going to combine it with the Rona. This is a traditional comp where you have a very strong front line with both Rona and Lance, and then a back line with Adagio able to heal Rona, buff himself, deal tons of CP damage from the back lines. So it's a strong overall composition for Calamity Reborn. And unlike last game, this is not the protect the hyper carry.
No.
Aeon can play very aggressive, and Apfel can support him from the back line.
This is the exact playstyle we were talking about with Aeon, right? Similar to a glaive with Rona, you want to jump in, you want to be in the skirmish.
The concern I have, though, is Rona into a Rhyme. Rhyme should win that matchup almost every single time. Yes, Rona can get some great damage off with the Red Mist, but Rhyme can just put down those Winter Spires right underneath her and just get so much damage, especially when you throw a Kestrel into the mix. Fnatic, I think they have an extremely strong composition here. It's going to be very difficult for this Rona to have the level of impact that she's going to need to.
Absolutely. It definitely feels like a strong meta composition from Fnatic, but I'm excited for this composition out of Calamity Reborn. At least they're going for something different. Rona and Adagio with the Lance. I mean, how are they going to be playing this one? Like, what is the win condition here for Calamity? Because this is not a composition I've ever seen.
Honestly, this is a composition that generally you want to see play very aggressive. You want to see Rona play aggressive, Adagio support her. They also have the Lance, who's a strong early game captain hero. The only thing is that, like you mentioned, Tasty Bacon, they're playing against a Rhyme. The Rhyme is going to have such a strong jungle matchup because of his clear speed and because of his last hitting ability. I'm expecting Rhyme to be able to get ahead early game, and it's going to allow Fnatic to close out the game later on. Reborn, while it's a composition they can fight with, they don't have too many tools against Rhyme.
All right, we'll see if the tools that they have are going to be enough to go against Rhyme on this one. It's time to jump on into our game. Hashtag Vainglory on Twitter to let us know who you're supporting on this one. Fnatic against Calamity Reborn. Let's pass it back to Medic and Scoundrel for game number 2.
Thank you very much, Munch. We are going to jump onto the Halcyon Fold, and it really feels to me, Scoundrel, like Fnatic have won this draft phase. They just seem to have all the parts of Exodia, and they've combined them perfectly, and by their powers combined, they are going to be able to take down Captain Calamity.
How many parts does Exodia have? Was it 5?
Five parts of
Five,
Exodia.
yeah. There's only 3 on, I don't know. Maybe they got like the 3 major parts of Exodia.
Oh yeah, that's the important thing then. They've
That's
got
the
the hearts, they've got the Captain, I don't know the parts of Captain Planet either. Earth, Wind, Fire, and then the Avatar Nation attack. Anyway, let's get into the game. Apfel and Aeon.
The Avatar Nation attacks. It's like you tried and it just went horribly wrong.
Yeah, it did. It went pretty wrong. But once again, we see Fnatic taking the Elder Treant early on. They're doing that front-to-back style of jungling that we talked about in game 1. And Calamity doing the back to front, and then realizing that that Elder Treant isn't there for them to take.
Yeah, caught out again by that as well. Fnatic moving that rotation, don't want to get stuck in the jungle trade. It also allows them to get the majority of the early clear share, a lot of experience between Palmatora and Techno JJ. Given that the experience share in the jungle has gone up, it's quite efficient to share the experience these days as Palmatora rushes in.
Straight into the front line. He's going to take a lot of damage as Aeon and Ghost were waiting in the wings, but Techno JJ is doing a lot of work on this Kestrel from the side, and Calamity are the ones that'll have to back away.
So you saw there, Palmatora rushes in, obviously using the boots to get himself into position to set up for the route. He immediately becomes the focus. When you play against the Rhyme generally becomes the primary focus in the team.
Oh, he just survives using the healing blast there. That was so close.
Very, very close. Had to burn the healing blast to stay alive. We'll have that gift of fire to sustain him where possible as well. But Techno JJ wailing those glimmer shots in. And that actually leads back to that point about Rhyme, that when you get focusing Rhyme, when he becomes the primary focus in these team fights, it basically allows Techno JJ to A, position where he wants, and B, fire off those glimmer shot artilleries wherever he likes as well. He becomes less of a focus target because of how much attention Palmatora is going to draw and how hard Palmatora is to take down. He's a Rhyme, he generates fortified health. He's just a monster, and then combine that with the Arden shield, with Arden being in such a good place now, his Vanguard scaling really nicely with the health. I mean, you just feel like Palmatora is going to be almost unkillable, I think.
And already in the lane, Techno JJ has a 6 farm advantage or so, and Apfel having to back away, they're just going to cost them gold early on, and that's where we see Fnatic really be able to take a stranglehold on this game. That's what we want to see from Fnatic as well, because they are a team that at the start of the year, at the start of Split 1, would have been saying, we want to challenge for Worlds, we want to get that EU World spot, and now they're lagging behind SK, they're lagging behind G2, and unless they start really winning against these lower tier teams in Calamity, they're not going to be able to challenge for that EU spot.
Yeah, remember there's only 1 European slot at Worlds available. We did not do very well in the Unified Western Live Championships, and therefore we rely solely on our winner of the Autumn Split to represent us at Worlds. It's looking like that will be SK, but obviously things can change depending on performances. So Fnatic, one of those teams that they need to start winning now if they want to find themselves at the World Championships in December. And it's a tall order for them, but it's definitely not out of the question impossible. They need to start showing better performances than last game, however. They can't be winning 25-minute games against the likes of G2 and SK, because it's just never going to happen. And if you go to Worlds against Ace, you're going to get obliterated. So I want to see more proactivity from Fnatic this time round.
I don't even think you need to call on Ace. I think you can say, you know, against C9, you're going to get obliterated.
Yeah,
you need to be able to actually perform to a high enough level to challenge even our NA rivals. So I like this early on from Fnatic. They put a little bit of pressure down. They've got that farm up. Atfil forced not to back away at the time that he wants to. And it's about disruption. It's about getting into the minds of your opponent, which is something that Fnatic historically have done pretty well.
Yeah, Aeon also rocking the Red Sonya. Red Sonya, the Red Rhoda skin, unbelievably cool, by the way. Love that skin. Unable to find
EU analysis for you early on, guys. We're expecting nothing to happen for 15 minutes, so let's talk about the skins.
I've got to sell out, I guess, at some point. But obviously, it's not been a great early start here. You haven't found much coordination between Rona and Lance. They haven't found too many openings in Techno JJ. And Palmatoro, like Irakizaro said, the clear speed of a Rhyme will eventually just, you know, accelerate out of control. Even despite the CP ratio nerfs to his Winter Spire, you can see how quickly he clears jungle camps. He's starting to pull ahead of Aeon just a little bit, but you know, this is what you expect versus a Rhyme. He will just out-gold you in every way, shape, and form if you let him do his thing in the jungle. And like Tasty Baker was alluding to, in fight, generally you're going to find that he does fares pretty well against the Rona as well as a very static Adagio. You know, Adagio doesn't have anything to dodge, dip, and dive around the Rhyme. He only has the cooldown, the movement speed from his boots. Well, Aeon going in.
And jumping onto that backline, jumps back out as well, goes so low. There comes the damage out from the Rhyme as well. They can't quite get the kill on towards Calamity, but Aeon and Ghost force back. Didn't use the fountain there, they just used their own healing flask, so that fountain is available for the next fight.
Yeah, Netwala only just finished up that fountain right now, and he should have it now for this siege, which, by the way, we talked about siege a little bit in the last game. Weapon Power Kestrel is one of the best sieging heroes in the game, and especially against moderately poor wave clear from Atfil on this Adagio. You get a little bit from Gift of Fire, but it's not like you're playing like the Celeste this time round. You actually have to commit a bit harder to clear those waves. Palmatoro has spied an opportunity. They have their vision set up. They've got that scout trap in the brush next to Palmatoro on the Calamity side of the map. He's going to go straight for the gold miner.
And it's the only the second jungle, like big jungle objective we've seen across the course of this series. No gold miners were taken in the last game, only one Kraken to help Fnatic close out the game. They will get an immense payout from that. Another 291 gold each, and that puts them about 1,000 gold ahead as we come towards the 7-minute mark. Item spikes have been hit. You've got a Shadow Glass on Palmatoro, you've got the Sorrow Blade on Techno JJ. Whereas you look at the other side, you look at Calamity, and you say, yeah, you've got an alternating current, no completed first item for Aeon. They feel like it's just like they're lagging behind a little bit at the moment, Excalibur.
Yeah, you can see Palmatoro hasn't really strayed too far from the Rhyme builds that we previously had in update 2.8 as well. Obviously, Rhyme with a Shattered Glass, it makes him tankier because you generate more fortified health, because your fortified health is generated from the damage that you deal. It also means you just deal more damage, and that is always a very good thing when you're playing a Rhyme. That burst damage, even with the ratio nerfs from Winter Spire, are pretty good. Actually, something that people often undersell in Rhyme's kit is that damage over time effect that he gets from his heroic perk. It actually really hurts with the Shattered Glass. So it's always very key to bear that in mind. He's going to pick up some light armor because obviously you expect Aeon to be his major contender in these fights. And he's going to go for a very early Crystal Infusion. I guess he'll pop that around level 9 when a fight potentially looks to break out. He might pop it on the next fight as well.
We'll have to see, because once again it's taken Fnatic a little bit of time to actually crack this first turret. We saw this in the first game, took them ages to get there, but a good crit onto Atfil will force him back. Techno JJ doing a lot of work with that Tyrant's Monocle now as well completed. If he can land a couple of Glimmer shots, he's going to be the key damage dealer for Fnatic in these long-range trades.
Yeah, and Palmatoro overdriving. Ooh.
Oh, Ghost jumps in, comes straight to his death. First blood to Fnatic, 8 minutes in. And it might even be the turret for them as well, as the active camera comes down from Techno JJ, needs to heal himself back up. Can't quite take the turret down now, but Calamity will have to mount a 2-man defense or give it up on this next minion wave.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to defend this. It would require a massive commitment. The Gift of Fire is not going to be enough. And the first turret of the game is going to go over to Fnatic. This is the aggression and the proactivity that we wanted to see from them. Admittedly, off the back of a mistake that Ghost made, I think it was very, very silly of him to commit on that level of HP. He didn't even have time to pop the fountain either. But Fnatic have opened up the map now, and that's going to allow them to stray into the jungle of Calamity. They're going to be able to push lane more effectively and take control of that gold mine area now as well. This is where you kind of wanted Fnatic to be in the last game with that composition, but they have a composition that scales very well this time around as well. So kind of almost contraindicative. I'm not even going to pretend that's a word. Contraindicatory to where they were last time round. They've actually got a later game scaling composition, but are doing better in the early game, which is actually very odd, but they're making it work for them. And with Rhyme obviously having come online off the back of that Shattered Glass, almost at a double Tyrant's monocle with Techno JJ, damage is very quickly going to run out of control.
Fnatic looking for a little bit of an engage as Calamity had pushed up into that second Mustache burst, but Apfel takes a couple of glimmer shots to the back and realizes he really can't trade with Techno JJ at the moment. Yet to see a big verse come out. Does lock you in place, of course, and is dangerous against a Rhyme who can collapse on you with that Winter Spire with the Valkyrie as well. And it's one of the weaknesses of Calamity's team is once again Ghost jumps in and just takes a crit to the face and immediately backs away.
This is something you actually mentioned there, Medic, because it's a point that I love to talk about, and you very, very succinctly talked about it. It's the use of Versus Judgment on a CP Adagio. When you're a CP Adagio, you play with Alternating Current. Alternating Current naturally allows you to kite. That's kind of what the item is there for as a CP carry. You get those basic attacks ramped up, and you can actually kite like you would a weapon power carry. But you kind of want to use Verse sometimes, but Verse is going to make you static. It's a channeling time. And even though there was a buff to the fortified health that Adagio receives from Verse, it still means that it's going to be easy pickings for Rhyme to jump on you and just dismantle you with the damage coming out from him. So it's such an interesting discussion to have about when, if ever, in this kind of competition, do you actually end up using the Verse of Judgment as the Adagio. If it was like it's almost a steal there, but if it was like a desperation move.
Not quite, but Calamity has to make his move because here comes the Valkyrie. There's the Gauntlet as well. Stun onto Apfel in the back line. The Fountain comes out. They're trying to keep Apfel alive. He's running for his life as Nettoilette goes in with the chase. Aeon there as well. And actually it looks like Calamity might be able to escape. Aeon has been slowed up once again. He's going to pop that red mist to try and get himself out, but he's down. So's Apfel, and Ghost is soon to follow as well. He'll try and roll his way away, but the time for rolling has long gone. Ghost caught out with the Winter Spire. Double kill for Techno JJ, and a clean ace for Fnatic.
And that is exactly as the analyst that's predicted, as we talked about at the start of the game. Fnatic's composition just dismantles, draft-wise, this Calamity composition. You could see Apfel very reluctant to even bother using the Verse of Judgment, was trying to kite back for the most part, knowing that remaining static in that kind of situation was just going to be your end. Palmotoro even able to just rush Aeon to the side, who, by the way, has prioritized the armor over the shielding in terms of sort of getting the extended items on that because of how much damage Techno JJ is pumping out right now. And because you have to respect the Rhyme, and because you fight back against the Rhyme, no one's pressuring Techno JJ on this powered Kestrel, and that literally just means that Techno JJ kind of gets to do what he wants in these fights.
And he's gone double Tyrant's Monocle as well. There's an Echo on this Arden. He can double Gauntlet if he wants. Palmotoro there with the Valkyrie, the stun. Here comes Nettoilette, the Fountain used, but it's too late to save the life of Ghost. He lives up to his name and is chucked off the Halcyon Fold. Apfel trying to dodge around as much as he can. The healing fast, the Winter Spire to the face. And Fnatic will just continue this chase. Nettoilette holding on to the Gauntlet for as long as possible. Actually, it's not even up. It's back up in 5 seconds. Didn't even need it. 2 kills once again to Fnatic, and they can start to look to close out this game.
Easy cleanup for Fnatic here. Palmotoro able to just provide that front line. You combine the fortified shield with the Vanguard, the fortified health with the Vanguard shield, and like we said, Rhyme is going to practically be unkillable, especially with Eve of Harvest on the top of that. But realistically, if you're not threatening a weapon power Kestrel, if you don't have a game plan to deal with weapon power Kestrel in a teamfight situation, this is one of those carries that, despite or regardless of how much armor that you generate, is going to just rip through your health bar, just regardless of how much armor you end up having. And you can see the Tornado Trigger. This is a very classic weapon power Kestrel build. Hasn't changed since update 2.9 or 2.9.1. It absolutely crushes even the frontline tanks. And if you're just not going to deal with the Kestrel, she will just, like we said, rip through that team.
That she will. Now Fnatic looking to continue this. Nettoilette in a position to double Gauntlet if he wishes. Doesn't quite go in for it yet. Minute and a half on the Kraken. Fnatic have got their third gold miner, sorry, and they will continue just to push in here. TechnoJJ doing so much work from the side. Ghost locked away. The crits onto the turrets are huge as well, and now Ghost jumps in. Good Gideon Wall will knock TechnoJJ back. And now we'll have to see if Calamity can hold on. The Crystal Sentry comes out once again. Just a lonely, lonely icon of the depths of which Calamity have fallen to here as the Sentry is eliminated from the Halcyon Fold, and Calamity will follow soon after. You have to think Ghost goes in, good Githian Wall, the knockback, the kill straight away, and that could be the opening that Calamity need. Palmatoro gets into the midst of them all, good double gauntlet, Apple trying to dodge across the side, and now we actually see that so much damage coming out onto Net Toilet. Apple keeping himself alive up towards the side, the mortal wounds on towards Palmatoro, but still he survives, and still he's alive, but Apple will eventually take down Net Toilet, and now we'll have to see if Palmatoro can do anything. He can't. It's an ace in favor of Calamity, and they come straight back into this game. Great stuff by them just to be able to hold on. They caught out TechnoJJ. He was not expecting it. That great Githian Wall coming out from Ghost to actually catch him out, and you have to give so much credit to the Roam in that position. That captain's role is to make the plays when you need it, and that is exactly what Ghost did here for Calamity, and now they can try and move forward, get some vision control, get some of these treants and these jungle camps back, because up until now, Aeon's been on 42 farm for the last 4 minutes of this game. He has been totally shut out, and you can see Calamity actually value giving farm over to Apfel even more than Aeon, because they're not giving him any of this. Apfel's getting it all. He's on 163 farm for himself. He's a basically completed build. Just needs to complete out that reflex block, and then we'll see if they are able to win out this next fight. They are still 7,000 gold behind, and Fnatic are hungry for that final fight.
I should be less robot-y now, Medic. Am I less robot-y?
You are. I was accepting it. I thought it was a phase you were going through.
Look, I have my robot phase. It's maybe my mic going through its adolescent phase right now, but for some reason, every so often, the Phantom Power Supply decides that it doesn't like me anymore and decides to die. But did see that somehow. We saw Calamity find their way in. Actually, they did exactly that we were mentioning this entire game. They focused TechnoJJ. They switched focus from Palmatoro, who hasn't really prioritized a huge amount of damage right now. So, you know, he doesn't have the Broken Myth. So Rhyme doesn't have the old Broken Myth, which was very, very good with Rhyme's kit, because obviously, even if you left Rhyme alone, he would generate those Broken Myth stacks and just become very difficult to deal with through the scaling ability damage. It doesn't work the same way anymore, and so TechnoJJ, the focus is the fight.
Ghost jumps in, a good Githian Wall, though. They're going to try and kill TechnoJJ once again, but he does get out towards the side, and now Ghost is dead. Aeon falls as well. Apple channels the burst, but that's way too late. That is a eulogy, a song of death as he goes down. It's another clean ace for Fnatic, and you have to think that they can close out the game from here.
Yeah, they should. Well, there is not that long on the death timers, and I think you'll find Fnatic will end up turning around and actually leaving TechnoJJ potentially to take at least one turret here, but they'll end up getting the Kraken, you feel, just off the back of this as well. The death time is probably too short to look for a straight-up game end at this point in time. However, it's almost like that nail in the coffin of the Kraken with just two Nexus, two Vein Crystal turrets remaining, because realistically, Kraken's very, very high HP. You don't exactly have a team that's going to crush it. The Rona and the Adagio aren't going to absolutely rip through the Kraken, who's got an increased HP when it is taken now. And with the fact that you're going to be able to take turrets very quickly with the Rhyme and the Glimmer shots from TechnoJJ, this should be Fnatic's final push.
With the Kraken, with the Dragon's Eye actually completed onto Apfel now. He's just trying to be that key damage source. They're going to get the root down here. The stun lands as well. Apfel there from the side. The Fountain, but that's already a kill on towards the Kestrel, and now it's up to Palmatoro. And we saw how badly this played off for Fnatic last time. Another great stun into the burst. The stun lands, and now it's Apfel just pounding out the damage from the side. Palmatoro looking for the chase though with the Winter Spire. Ghost there. Another great Githian Wall to knock Palmatoro back, but he's still chasing, and the fortified health is still doing so much work. Palmatoro can't quite get it. The kill lands on the rest of the map. We saw Net Toilet actually getting Net Toilet! Genius! What an amazing gauntlet across the wall. With the Kraken, he can look for the push, he can look for the end, he can look for the big play that Fnatic needed. They needed a leader, they needed someone to step up to show us why they are worthy of a place in Worlds, and Net Toilet has done that right there with that gauntlet. He's looking for these turrets as well. The one shot, one kill will help, but this is all Net Toilet with the win for Fnatic. Just needs the crystal as well, and Ghost is just standing there like, I can do something. Perhaps he can, because Aeon's joined the fray as well. They'll look to take down Net Toilette, but they need to deal with the Kraken as well. The Crystal falls lower and lower, and eventually Fnatic will take the Bane. We see Net Toilette pay for it with his life, but that Kraken just needs one more shot to take the win. Fnatic are going to be able to take this 2-0 over Calamity.
Unbelievable, and you feel like the conclusion was foregone, but Calamity finally found their way into essentially attempting to approach these team fights in a different way. Once they decided that Techno JJ was the primary target, Fnatic hadn't been dealing with that for the most part, and they deleted him, giving Calamity a winning chance in these fights. But Net Toilette, unbelievable ending there, Medic. Unbelievable play.